Another thing that I kind of wanted to talk to you about today, and again, if you have questions as we go through, just put it in the chat and I will present it. But I wanted to do a little mini training, mini Moonful Mama training about like how to figure out if you want to start your own business. How do you figure out like how like what are like you're not satisfied in your career or maybe your current business or whatever the case is, and you're getting the sense that there's something more, that you want to start a business but you don't know what to choose or where to start, because this is a common question that I have for like a lot of my startup small businesses, and I wanted to make space for it and kind of answer some questions that I get a lot when it comes to starting your own business and just making a pivot in your life. This is something that happened with me when I wanted to leave the social work field and be my own boss and start my own business. And I think I have like a couple of suggestions that can help you inform that decision, right? And then Marissa asked, do you have any suggestions for small business owners who don't love being so present on social media? Other ways to market your brand or business, or is social media really it? Okay, so before I go to my like mini training, I want to speak to what Marissa is asking. So this is a really common pain point, Marissa, for a lot of small business owners, especially a lot of like professional service-based business owners a lot of the time. So here's the deal, in my opinion, with social media and why it can be like one of the most powerful game changers for your business. Is it the only pathway to building engagement, conversion, and sales? It is not. However, we have to talk about the fact that social media, meaning Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, okay? These are all free platforms that you can utilize for marketing. So we have to underline the fact that sometimes it's hard to market on social media because we have to play by their rules. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to play by the features that are working really well. You have to use the different tools and features depending on the platform to get your reach, right? But we have to underline the fact that all these things are free, which is amazing. Whereas before social media, right? Before social media, what was there for advertising and marketing? There was paid ads on TV, in like written editorial prints, like the newspaper, magazines, word of mouth, dropping off flyers, so let's orient ourselves here to the fact that it can be amazing. And then I'm going to talk to the part that's challenging. But it can be amazing because this is a free platform that we can use at our disposal at any time to market ourselves and market our business. However, you do know that, of course, these companies want to get paid. So, of course, they have a paid element now, right? So you can do paid ads and sponsored ads, which helps increase your reach and visibility, right? However, I've seen so much success in using these free platforms in a way that increases just organic growth, like and not spending a dime or a penny, and certain platforms I think are better than others when it comes to paid advertising, just my personal experience and what I've been learning along the way. But it's a very common pain point that a lot of people don't love to be present on social media. They don't like to go live. They don't want to be forward facing on the camera, whether it's their personality or it's just not their vibe. It's just like not their thing. So there are some ways to get a little scrappy, Marissa, and increase awareness around your brand without having to be on social media all of the time. I know for a lot of brands, like they really want to have healthy boundaries when it comes to social media because they can get kind of whisked away in it, which I've really tried to be intentional doing and coming back online, so to speak. I'm really trying to put boundaries around how I show up, when I show up, like all of these things, if that makes sense. But listen, there are other ways, Marissa, to market yourself and market your business without having to be on social media all the time. Like there's paid Google ads. There's other platforms that you can utilize. There are, instead of you being on camera while filming a reel, you can use stock video for your business. One of my favorite, sorry, my hair's like being so weird right now. One of my favorite, one of my favorite websites to use is called Storyblocks. I don't know if you've ever heard of Storyblocks before. Storyblocks is an amazing stock video website and picture website. So like you can get scrappy with it. Like you don't have to be forward facing all of the time. Does that make sense? So Marissa, let me know if like that resonates with you and that makes sense. But I think you also have to get clear, Marissa, for your business, like what's your goal for this upcoming year, right? Do you want to Storyblocks is great too. Storybooks, there's so many. But Marissa, I think you need to get clear on what you want, what your goal is for your business. If your goal for your business is to just nurture the people you already know and support them and nurture them, like whoever's already in your existing audience, that's one business plan for branding and marketing and growth, right? That's one pathway, one blueprint. Instead of, let's say one of your goals for this year is to increase visibility. Well, that's a totally different blueprint. That is a totally different like business plan. It's two totally different like steps that I would guide somebody through. And I have this right now with my business mentorship clients. Some of them they've created their own sustainable operation in their business. And now they just want to tighten up the customer journey. Now they just want to nurture their people and really take care of their people, right? So our plan for branding is going to be a totally different flavor than someone who's like just starting out and they just need to get as many eyes on their content as possible. So for example, like if that was you, then yeah, social media is going to be the quickest and the cheapest way for you to do that. Is it the be all end all? No, because you have search engine optimization, SEO. You can really use SEO tactics on your website in such a way that you're one of the first people that come up when someone is searching for your service and the location where your service is at. So like, that's what I would say, Marissa. If you really want to increase visibility, then social media is probably going to be the easiest and quickest thing for you. But if you just want to kind of nurture your people, then email marketing campaigns might be really great, or other sort of upsells for your existing clientele could be like really, really great for you. But again, it depends on what your goal is. But I'm witnessing you because like it's hard to be forward facing on social media, and a lot of people are private. Like they don't want to like be all up in that, and that's okay. There are ways around that. But again, you have to understand like people also to an extent do need to see you, because that's how you're building this trust with your audience and providing education. And I have to say, one of like the sides of TikTok that I'm on is like therapist TikTok, because I'm a therapist myself. And it's been so cool to see how therapists are showing up on social media. So I would also say, Marissa, watch what others are doing. Not that you have to copy them, but watch what your competition is doing, and really see how they, even the more like introverted ones, and see how they're showing up, how they're providing education. I have some really, really great accounts I follow, especially on TikTok. So if you want to see some of those, just like send me a DM and I can send that to you. But there's a way that you can stretch yourself a little bit beyond your discomfort, but doing it in a way that feels good for you. You know what I'm saying? So let me know if that makes sense. But it's a good question. It's a good question. A lot of small business owners struggle with it. A lot of people do. A lot of people do. So please feel free to ask questions in the comment box. But I did want to speak to some of the things that I'm seeing that a lot of people are. You're welcome. A lot of things when it comes to choosing a business, or like starting a business, or just up leveling your current one, right? These are some suggestions that I often give people to help guide you in your decision-making process. So the first thing, like I always say, passion, right? You have to be connected to the work that you do through something that you're passionate about. I promise you, on the days that are hard in business, your passion for why you started in the first place is what's going to get you. It's what's going to get you through. And like I mentioned on my stories yesterday, it's asking yourself questions like, what do you love so much that you would do it for free? What can you talk about? What topic can you talk about for hours and not get bored with it? Like, you can just go off on talking about this certain topic, right? The third thing is, what's your journey of transformation? So for example, for myself, like, I'm passionate about people like figuring out their purpose and helping them figure out like if they want to start a business or not, or how if they have one, how to take it to the next level. Like, I'm super passionate about this because of, hey, Mary Lou, because of my own personal journey in going through what I teach people. So it's figuring out, okay, like, what were my life experiences and my journey that could be connected to a business idea, right? Because when you do that, you inherently create a blueprint, a framework of what to walk people through. So for example, I don't know, let's say that you had a certain health issue this past year and you were able to work with certain providers and you really work towards healing your physical body, and you really want to raise awareness about this condition, and you want to be able to support people who are going through the same thing. That's a business idea. You know what I'm saying? So the first thing into guiding your decision is passion. Like, what it is that you're passionate about. What do you love so much that you would do it for free? What is it that you can just talk about for hours? And what's an area or a topic that you went through a personal journey through? Like, what is that for you? So the number one thing I always say is passion. The second thing, like, let's call a spade, demand, okay? Market demand, all right? You really have to, like, don't be stupid and getting into a business where there's not a large demand and market for it, okay? This part is like, you have to do some research. You have to do some market research and look at the trends to really gauge where the demand is in terms of certain industries, right? So right now, and this also helped guide me into like my next steps for Moonful Mama, like right now, right now, especially, there is a mass exodus of people leaving the corporate sector and corporate industry, whether intentionally or unintentionally. Especially as we're going to be leaning into a time of financial recession, probably. That's what financial people are saying. A lot of people are going to be let off. A lot of people aren't getting the same benefits and the same salary that they expected or that they wanted. People now are going to be starting their own businesses. They want to be their own boss. They don't want to go back to the office. They want to work from home. And what's beautiful is because of this digital space, we could do this. So when people, like I'm coaching this one client and consulting with her right now, and she was in a corporate career for quite some time. She was making six figures, but like the lower end of six figures. And then she proposed her business plan, and I'm like, and there's such a high market like demand for it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is like a no-brainer for you to make this pivot. She's going to be making 6 or 7 times what she was making in corporate. So again, being clear on what the market demand is, doing your research, like looking on social media, looking at if you're looking to start something like a brick and mortar or local, right? Really being clear on who those competitors are. Like, what are they doing? How's their business going? You know what I'm saying? So being clear on your passion, number one. Second thing is market demand. Is there a demand for what services, what your business would offer or provide? The next thing, is this making sense? Give me some hearts and thumbs up if this makes sense. And ask questions along the way if you need me to stop. The next thing that I have is skills and expertise, okay? This is what's going to help you like figure out if you want to make a pivot in your life, in your career, starting a business, up-leveling it, whatever it is. Your skills and expertise, okay? Yes, absolutely, Mary Lou. I plan on posting this later. Absolutely. The next thing is your skills and expertise, okay, folks? Please make sure that you're choosing a business that aligns with your skills and expertise. And listen, when I say skills and expertise, I'm not saying you have to go to college. Like, did I go to college for business development and branding? No, I went to school for social work. Your life can also help you become an expert. Are there certain professions and services that you should be educated and certified and trained in? Yeah, absolutely. Like a surgeon, a doctor, a therapist, even certain healers, like certain professions that are working with people. Especially people, I feel like we should have certifications to justify our work with them and to show that we've been through rigorous training, right? But the likelihood of you being more successful is very high if you're leveraging your skills and expertise with a business, right? So for example, and this just goes to show you like nothing is ever wasted, right? So for example, for me, I'll put myself on the chopping block. I was a therapist for more than 10 years. I learned how to engage with people, how to talk with people, how to hold space and sit with people during really challenging times, right? So did that skill serve me in starting in the beginning my own relationship-based business? Of course it did. Whether it was a business client from the beginning or a more spiritual-based client in the beginning, absolutely. So really take a look at your skills and your expertise. And sometimes your life experience justifies your expertise as well, right? So don't just think of it as terms of like what you put on your resume or like what degrees you have, what certifications you have. Yes, make note of those things, but think of life experience. What life experience has made you an expert in? There's probably a lot, right? So think of business ideas related to what your skills are and what your expertise is in. Resonating? Okay, good. The fourth thing, very important, when it comes to choosing what kind of business to start or if you want to make a pivot, is resources. Okay? People don't like to talk about this part. People shy away from this part when it comes to making a pivot or starting their own business. Resources. This is something that you don't want to shy away from because this is when the rubber hits the road. Okay, folks? Consider what resources you have available. What I mean by that is money. Do you have money that you can put out up front? Is there an investor that you can loop in after you create your formal business plan, right? Money. Next thing in terms of resources is time. Do you have time to start something part-time versus full-time? Like, what's your time resource bank like? And the last thing in terms of resources is connections. Who's in your sphere, right? You have to understand that when you start a business, well, it's no problem, Marissa. When you start a business, it is resource intensive, okay? Up front, right from the get-go, it asks resources of you. Yes, money, yes, time, and yes, connections. So be mindful of those things because I think a lot of people get into business and they're like, oh my God, I'm going to have so much free time right from the beginning. It's usually flipped. It's usually in the beginning, you have the least amount of time. And as things level off and you grow and you automate things or you hire a team, that's when your time begins to free up. But at the beginning, like the initial resource investment is very heavy. And so a couple of months in, a lot of people tap out because they either had this unrealistic expectation about how much money, time, or how much connections matter right from the get-go. But that's why I think the average is like 70 something percent of small businesses fail within the first couple years. And this is why, because it is very resource intensive. Now, of course, depending on the business that you want to launch, your financial investment, right, is going to be different. Like if you were starting just an online business with no brick and mortar overhead, that's going to be cheaper, right? Than if you were starting a brick and mortar and you wanted to sell products or you were getting into the restaurant industry. You know what I'm saying? So I think you have to be mindful again on what your industry needs are and what your business goals would be. But yeah, it's like really intensive in the beginning in terms of what your business can ask of you. So be mindful of that. The next really, really important thing is location. Do you want to be kind of a digital online based business? Or do you want to have a physical location? When it comes to choosing a location, that's going to have a huge impact on your business success as well. So definitely considering if you're going to be like an in-person, like brick and mortar type of thing, definitely considering like the local economy, definitely considering competition, right? And also access to customers and them accessing you. Like that is huge, 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 huge. The last thing that I will mention is number 6 is like personal goals when it comes to choosing a business. So, really think about why, like, what is your why? Like, why do you want to get into business in the first place? Why do you want to create your own brand in the first place? For a lot of people, it's like gaining financial independence, like being financially free. That's like huge for people. Another thing is people want to be their own boss. They don't want to have to report to anybody. And then the last thing is like they want to make a positive impact most of the time. And they want to experience true freedom. So for you, like, what's your personal why and what are your goals related to starting a business? So that's what I would say. Those are like 6 really easy, really great suggestions to help you guide your decision when it comes to starting a business. So let me know if that makes sense, if that resonates with you. Just to let you know, this is a very small part of what I kind of go through with people in my business mentorship and business consulting services. And I just want to like orient everybody to some of the things that I do now. In case you feel like you need support in any of these areas to kind of guide your decision for your business, or maybe you're thinking about starting one, whatever the case is. So right now, I have there's like 3 different pathways for you to work with me, which you can see. You can check out my link in bio or moonfulmama.com. You'll see all the things. The first thing I have, which is, hi Betty. The first thing I have, which is my brand new service, which I'm so excited about, is my VIP days. So people who want me for a lot of hours in a day or two, or sometimes more, to work on specific projects with them for their business. You have my undivided attention for a lot of hours, and I just help you bang out so many things in a very short amount of time. So people who want really quick results, they hire me for my VIP days. I have a list of, on my website, different services in regards to branding, editorial planning, automation, so much. So you can check that out on my website. You're so welcome, Leah. So I have that, so you can check that out if you want a VIP day with me. And then you get a special little like VIP package from me when you do that as a surprise. And then I also have my monthly business mentorship service, which I've had for a very, very long time. So people sit with me for about 60 to 90 minutes a month. They also have unlimited access to me via DM or Voxer or text, whatever works best for you. So people who really want to take their existing business to the next level, but they don't want that big of a financial investment, but they want a lot of value and a lot of support just once a month. Like that's what people love. So I have that monthly container. And then the last thing I'm doing, which I have been doing, but I'm doing again, is web design. So as many of you I think know, I love doing web design, which is very much connected to branding development as well. So those are the 3 services that I have as of now. I have so many things coming down the pike for 2023 that I'm so excited to share about. But at the beginning, Q1, quarter 1, those are the things that I have for all of you. And Betty asked, how many hours are the VIP days? Betty, they range. It depends on how long it takes to complete the service or the product or whatever it is that you want accomplished. So sometimes that could take 2 hours. Sometimes that could take 12 hours. It depends on what it is that you need me to do for you. I hope that makes sense. And with my VIP days and my web design packages and projects, those are very customizable depending on your brand and business needs. I always offer pay in full, but I also always offer payment plans for people because I know, especially with small businesses, like you don't have a lot of disposable income in the beginning. So I always offer payment plan, like customized payment plan options for people. So I want to be accessible too. You know, I want everyone to win here. But my business mentorship is like, you'll see it on my website. It's like a flat rate. It's very clear like what that is. But I really try and work with people because one thing that was really hard for me when I first started out was I didn't have a lot of disposable income, but I I really wanted my brand to be beautiful and have an amazing customer journey and experience. And there is a way to do that without breaking the bank. I'm telling you that there is. So I am very much in the business of leveraging you and your brand voice and your vision, but I want to do it in a way that's accessible to a lot of people. So I hope that makes sense. But before I hop off, I'm going to actually jump onto TikTok to do a live over there. Before I head over there, does anybody here have any questions for me before I head on over to my TikTok family? But I hope this was helpful. I'm going to make sure that I post the replay of this to help you hopefully lean into some of these things if you're looking to make a pivot, to start your own business, or even leverage your existing one. So I hope that was helpful. But I don't see any other questions. So thank you so much, everybody. And I cannot wait to see you super soon. Bye.